We drove this car from Washington, D.C. through national parks, big cities, and small towns before returning to D.C. 25 days later. Follow along to see where we went. Part 4. After spending 4 days in Texas, we were ready for a long drive from Austin to New Orleans. Our first and only 8-hour day in the car. Driving through some interesting landscapes, we finally arrived at our hotel in New Orleans late on the 13th of July. After finding a place to park the car, it was time to hit the hay and get ready for a big day in the morning. A few days earlier, we had decided to book a swamp tour in Louisiana. Kaya had always had a dream of riding one of those airboats with a big propeller on the back, and today was the day. But first, we made a stop for some beignets, an obligatory stop for anyone checking out New Orleans. We went to a place called Café Beignet. It was delicious. After our beignets, we were picked up by a bus at our hotel, before driving to another place where we got on an even bigger bus, and then we left the city. After driving about half an hour out of the city, we arrived at the swamp where the boats were located.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here.
We were ready for a real adventure. Over the course of the swamp tour, we saw a lot of different animals, including alligators and loads of birds. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the raccoons that our guide was planning for, but the experience was absolutely incredible.
Not a lot of these large ones. We're going to learn today why these larger alligators are that much more special, unique, and rare to even see to begin with.
We all really enjoyed it, and I would call this a must-do if you're ever in the area. The next day, we had booked a table for a bottomless mimosa brunch. We talked about doing this for a few weeks, and I decided today would be the day. We had a fun time, and after brunch, we decided to go check out some more of New Orleans. We walked around the city for a while and ended up at a nice little bar, where we stopped for some food. We then continued to walk around for a little while, but we soon realized that we were all getting kind of tired. So we decided to go back to the same bar where we were at earlier, and have a few beers and relax. A good decision for this particular day. It's very common to feel a bit exhausted when doing long trips such as this, so sometimes a relaxing day is what everyone needs. The same evening, we decided to check out the infamous Bourbon Street, the party street that New Orleans is known for. An absolutely crazy spot at night. There was so much stuff happening there that it was hard to keep track of. But we walked around the street and had a few drinks before calling it a night, as we were going to head to our next destination the next day. After getting some breakfast, we were ready to hit the road again, headed for Pensacola Beach. We had added this stop to our itinerary as a relaxing few days to our trip, and it came at the perfect time. I didn't film a lot during our days in Pensacola, but it's definitely a place I would recommend to anyone. We spent our days on the beach, eating good food and playing mini golf, and getting a pretty bad sunburn. At least for some of us. When we were eventually leaving Pensacola on the 18th of July, we had officially entered the final week of our road trip, and we had to start making our way back towards DC, but we still had a few great stops left before we were getting there. So we headed towards Atlanta and planned some epic stops for the last part of our trip. So stay tuned for the next and final video of this series, where we check out the Outer Banks Byway and Washington DC. And until next time, have a good one.